The movie starts in a stormy night inside Ladoma's castle, establishing various games that are being manufactured by the family. Daniel and Alex, as small boys, are shown running, looking for a place to hide. Daniel makes Alex hide in a closet. Then a man with an arrow stabbed on his stomach comes to Daniel asking for help to escape. Instead of helping, Daniel shouts, revealing that the man is near Daniel. Two people picks up the man, pulls him into a private room, and seemingly the man is killed, leaving Daniel in agony. 30 years later, Grace is shown smoking and talking alone on her wedding day, complaining about Ladoma's family. The wedding is set to happen in the Ladoma's castle. Alex comes to Grace and convinces about the economic differences she and his family has. At the same time, Daniel also comes into Grace's room, asking them to head out for the wedding. During the wedding photography ceremony, Tony tells his son Alex about his insecurities with Grace. An old lady in a chair watches Grace like a freak. Amidst all differences, the couple gets married. The movie sets out to its eventful night, where the entire movie is about to happen. The old freak lady, Helene, barges into the couple's room, frightening Grace, and asks them to come to the party. Then, Alex explains to Grace that it's their family tradition to play a game on the wedding day midnight. As the family made their fortune from the games, it's their ancestors' wish to play the game on wedding day. Tony and Alex are in the game room, talking about Grace picking up a particular card to play the game. And Tony wants to assure that Alex is prepared in that scenario. Once Grace comes down, Becky, Alex's mother, asks Grace to not head out from the family, confusing Grace. Fitch and Emily arrives at the castle just in time for the game, introducing themselves to Grace. At exactly 11:55, the entire family enters the game room, led by Grace. The door to the room is locked by the butler Stevens. The fishy nature of the room and the situation puzzles Grace. But she takes it in a good spirit. Then, Tony explains to Grace about their great-grandfather Victor, on how he started the gaming business. And while he was a sailor, how he got a box from a person named LaBelle. After getting the box, their family's fortune kept growing, and since then they have the tradition of picking a card and play game whenever there is a new addition to the family. The box is passed on to Grace and she picks up a card, which says hide and seek. Grace sees that as a funny game, but the entire family, including Alex, is terrified. It is revealed that this is the particular card Alex and Tony were talking about. Grace is the one to hide and rest of the family seeks. The family turns off CCTV, counts till 100, and then starts seeking. Tony hands over real weapons to the family when Grace hides in a dumbwaiter. Becky wants Alex out of the game and locks the game room with him inside. The family starts searching for Grace, and Alex gets out of the room to help Grace. Grace loses her patience, unknown about the seriousness of the game, comes out of the dumbwaiter, only to be pulled by Alex into a room. A maid comes looking for Georgie into the same room, gets mistakenly shot by Emily. Realizing the terror, Grace gets into shock. Alex then explains to Grace that she pulled out that one particular bad card and family have to kill Grace before sunrise, else something bad may happen. He promises to save her, and asks her to hide in the kitchen. The rest of the family, when trying to hide the maid's body, lands in front of Grace. Emily tries to shoot Grace but misses. Grace enters into Daniel's room and pleads for his help. He agrees for a 10-second head start, alerting the family after that. The family, when arrives, Grace already had left the room. Emily feels bad about her missing gun. Fitch hands over his crossbow to her. Emily again mistakenly operates it, and shoots an arrow to another maid, who comes to say she saw Grace. The family decides to turn in the CCTV cameras, going against their family tradition. In the meantime, Grace gets into the game room, picks up a rifle and heads to the kitchen to wait for Alex to unlock the doors. The butler arrives to make tea, making Grace hide from him. When Alex unlocks the door, Grace threatens the butler with the gun, but it won't shoot. She hits him and escapes. Alex breaks the entire CCTV control and beats his father to ask to leave Grace alone. Daniel hits Alex and makes him pass out. Tony and Daniel carries Alex out of the room. Grace once again tries to get into the dumbwaiter, only to see a maid hiding there. Upon seeing Grace, the maid alerts the family. The dumbwaiter starts to go down, killing the maid. Alex, now unconscious, is tied in a bedroom by the family, before they set out to search again. Grace is now outside the castle building, overhears Helene and Tony. Helene says that Alex is meant to lead the family, and it's time for him to accept it. Grace gets down to the ground level of the castle, runs towards a barn. She sees Georgie in the barn, thinking of himself as harmless, tries to talk to him, but with the gun stolen from Emily, he shoots Grace's hand. Hurt by the shot, Grace hits Georgie and knocks him off. She falls into a pit, seeing skeletons around her. With the help of a broken ladder, she gets to the top, hurting her already wounded hand more. While running outside the barn, Charity, Daniel's wife, sees Grace and shoots at her, but misses. Arrives at the fence of the castle, Grace gets out of the fence, hurting her more. The butler reaches the fence in a car, sees the torn wedding dress and knows that Grace has gotten into woods and searches for her. In the meantime, Tony explains to the family that his great-grandfather made pact with LaBelle, and if Grace is not killed by dawn, the entire family will die because the pact is not honored. The butler finds Grace and chases her. During the fight, Grace chokes him and seemingly kills him. While escaping in the car, Grace tries to call the police with the voice assistant. But as the car was reported stolen, it automatically stops. The butler arrives again and shoots a dart at Grace, making her unconscious. He takes her in the car and gets back to the castle. Grace wakes up, hits him from behind, making the car roll over, killing the butler. When Grace gets out of the car, she sees Daniel with a gun. She argues again with him to save her, only to be knocked off by him and taken back to castle. Becky talks to the now woken up Alex about getting together as a family. Alex tells her mother how good Grace is and how different she is from their family. The family then prepares for the final ritual to offer Grace to LaBelle. Before the ritual, the entire family drinks from a cup. As Tony tries to stab Grace with a knife, the entire family throws up blood. Daniel had poisoned the drink to save Grace. Simultaneously, Alex escapes and comes in search for Grace, who is now with Daniel. While Daniel trying to escape with Grace, Charity, Daniel's wife, shoots Daniel for his action. Tony also arrives there at the same time, tries to kill Grace, but Grace hits him with a lantern, knocks him off, also sets the castle on fire. Now, it's Becky's turn to kill Grace, but Grace overpowers Becky and kills her with the play card box. On seeing this, Alex now turns up against Grace, joining with his family. Helene reminds the family about the sunrise and asks Alex to kill Grace immediately. At the last minute, Grace once again escapes, further delaying the ritual. Now the sun has risen, the family sees that it happened to them, puzzles them. Helene rises her axe against Grace, only to be blasted off. Following Helene, the entire family blasts off and the entire castle burns down, leaving only Grace to be alive after the whole terrorsome night to prove that the pact was in fact true all along. Thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the content. Please let us know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments. Please do subscribe for the channel for more similar videos. Also, let us know if you have a movie that you'd like to be recapped. If it gets chosen, your ID will be featured in the video.